Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, The Grease Trap. Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, Grease Trap.
Hey everybody, welcome to the greasiest trap that's ever been trapped. Let's just get right into stuff. So this is a tattoo of Caitlyn Bennett, the gun girl.
Is that the girl that shit her pants?
Yeah, this is the girl that shit her pants at that party.
Hey, it happens.
I mean, you know, whatever. I don't know if I've shit my pants drunk before, but I've definitely pissed myself drunk. So
that's a bad introduction because like the first I ever heard of her, and like everything else I've heard since is that just basically she's a complete idiot.
The thing about it is that she probably deserves it. You know, the whole like being known as someone who shit your pants thing, because she really is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Like she basically her whole shtick is like she just carries a gun around. Like that's her whole. She like go on college. I mean, like she's just like your typical like conservative bitch that goes around carrying a gun and fucking hating fucking whatever everybody else, pretty much. But
Dude,
I love
why does the shading on this tattoo make her look like she's horribly bruised?
I don't know. This is just like the most inept fucking tattoo artist. This is like an awful tattoo.
Yes. I was going to say, whoever paid for this tattoo, if you paid $1, you got ripped off.
She looks horribly bruised from head to toe.
I love how they paid way more attention to like getting the shape of the gun right than they did to like getting any sort of human proportions correct.
That's not even that great of a gun.
I mean, I know, but the gun is like, it looks more like a gun than this looks like a fucking human being. Like, is this supposed to be hair? This doesn't look like hair. It looks like fucking. It looks like ramen noodles or something. I mean,
it's like a bear pelt hanging on her head.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But
it's like it has
a
monkey face at the top of it too. Do you see it? Do you see the smiling ape face at the top?
No,
you don't.
Oh wait, is this the mouth?
See it.
Yeah.
Can you see my cursor?
No,
you can't see my cursor.
I can't see your fucking cursor.
That sucks.
But there's like that black bar. That's the eyes.
Yeah. Okay. I think I see exactly what you're seeing.
And then there's the grinning mouth.
Is there like a scar across the mouth?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're talking about. I totally see what you're talking about.
It's a grinning ape face, dude.
Love it.
Maybe the person that got the tattoo wanted her to be all bruised up to signify like her battle or whatever, you know?
Yeah, her battle against the libs. Anyway, I got to show you, Paul. You and I watched this before the show. Scotty hasn't seen it yet, but this is just too good not to fucking show. This is everyone's favorite right-wing punching bag, Marjorie Taylor Greene, proving once again why she is what she is. Check this.
They want you to be required to have something called a COVID passport. And this would mandate your ability to be able to travel, your ability to be able to go to events, your ability to be able to buy and sell. And I asked the question earlier today, is this something like Biden's mark of the beast? Because that is really disturbing and not good. Oh, if you're going to come into the football game or the baseball game or the concert, you need your vaccine passport because we're trying to do a good job to keep everyone safe. This is what the Biden administration is trying to talk to these private companies into doing. Well, let's analyze that. You see, it's still the same thing. It's still fascism or communism, whatever you want to call it, but it's coming from private companies. So I have a term for that. I call it corporate communism. They want
communism, fascism, authoritarianism, take your pick. It doesn't matter.
You know what this is, really, you guys? This is corporate communism. It's like that's not even a tenable concept. That's not even remotely a thing.
Why would any corporation agree to that, dude? There's no way.
It's like reality is rattling around up there somewhere in her head, and it keeps bouncing off of different terms, and those keep coming out of her mouth instead of like, everything that I stand for is wrong.
You know what I call it? Corporate Nazi commie fascism. You know?
Take your pick.
This is just like this paranoid Christian bullshit. Like, we heard this shit when we were kids. Like, you're going to get a chip implanted in your hand. You won't be allowed to go anywhere unless you have the chip. You know, it's just the modern
There's
version
been
of
at
that.
least 3 or 4 marks of the beast in my fucking lifetime, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is just yet another mark of the beast. It's not even a mark. It's a fucking document. If the mark of the beast can be a fucking document that you just have to carry around with you, it could just be your fucking driver's license at that point. Driver's license is the mark of the beast, man.
I'm sure there are some people that when those started said that shit. I'm sure
Probably.
there were some Christians around saying like,
oh my, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Christians, you see all these Christians freaking out about Lil Nas X and his fucking music video where he like twerks on Satan's fucking lap. And
oh yeah, dude, it's
sealed
super gay
Satan.
too. Like the whole,
Yeah,
the gayest could be.
The whole video and all the lyrics and stuff. Like even without the Satan twerk, that's what they're really pissed off about. It really has nothing to do with the Satan thing. That just gave them like easy fodder to criticize it. But what they don't like about that video is that it's super duper fucking gay, and the song is super duper gay. And he started selling these shoes with the devil
blood.
shoes. Yeah,
blood in the shoes. They got pentagrams on them, and they have the Nike swoosh. But Nike is not too happy with that. They're now suing.
Oh, come on, Nike.
They're not suing Lil Nas X directly, but they are suing the company that he collaborated with to create the shoes.
Yeah.
So Nike has filed a federal trademark infringement lawsuit. Basically because a lot of people are going on social media being like, I can't believe Nike would do this. I can't believe Nike would create this. Blah, 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 blah. Nike is against God. Nike did this. So Nike issued a statement saying basically like, hey, we didn't have nothing to do with the creation of these shoes.
There's a ton of sneaker culture right now that will take a base pair of sneakers, like a base pair of Nikes, and then dip them or spray them or add things to them and make a new pair of shoes and resell those. Right. And Nike has not had a problem with that
until now.
Yeah.
But now they don't like it anymore. Now they feel that they need to protect their trademark or whatever.
Dude, Nike fucking sucks. And another thing is that if Nike wants to get my business back, I'm totally down. If they're like, look, we're going to put out Satan shoes and we come out and say like, fuck God. Official press release from Nike. If they want to get my business, do that, Nike. Don't back away from this. Don't fucking sue this guy. He took the fucking shoes. Did they pay for the shoes? They should be able to do whatever the fuck they want with them. Fuck Nike and this bullshit lawsuit.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you guys. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's so many companies that do this. This is like a popular thing as these shoe mods and shit. Lil Nas X gets in on it. By the way, his shoes selling for $1,000 for a pair. He sold out 1,000 of them in 1 minute's time. So the demand for these shoes was fucking astronomical. Clearly. Jeopardy struggling in the ratings ever since Alex Trebek's death.
Well, no shit.
Now, not really. I mean, the ratings have not collapsed for Jeopardy. I don't want to overstate what's going on here, but they've fallen to number 2 for the first time in a very, very, very long time. They slipped 5% from the previous week with Katie Couric doing her second week of hosting the show.
That's I think we found the problem.
Yeah, they've been I mean, another thing is just like there's no consistent host. They have not settled yet on who consistently is going to replace Alex Trebek, and they just keep trotting out these guest hosts. Apparently, Katie Couric is causing a ratings lag on the show.
Dude, I know. I don't understand how Katie Couric still has a fucking career. She is like fucking fingernails on a chalkboard to me. Her personality, the way that she presents things has always just been shit to me.
Saccharine, dude. Yeah.
Well, apparently, plenty of people agree with you because the ratings dropped the first week she was on the show, and the ratings dropped even more the second week when they were just like 2 weeks of Katie Couric. No, thank you.
Yeah, like this fucking fake ass fucking plastered on smile, dude. Like when Alex Trebek hosted the show, it wasn't like he was like, you know, he had like snark to him. Like he was a nice guy, but he was like a snarky kind of like dick sometimes. You know, he had a good balance to him. Like she's just, you know, it's like, that's wonderful. this big fucking fake shit-eating grin.
Dude, can
like
we
she
see
gives a fuck.
fucking like clips of her hosting
I'm
Jeopardy?
sure.
You know who's hosting? Dr. Oz is hosting Jeopardy right now.
Oh
Are
my
you fucking kidding?
God.
Yeah. They
Just
said
end
next
it.
up on the show's guest hosting rotation
Yeah.
was Dr. Oz, who began his run last week. Though many
God.
were not pleased he got the gig at all.
Are
Yeah,
you
count me among
fucking
them.
Kidding me, Dr. Oz, that snake oil fucking salesman.
Just fucking end it, bro. End it. End the show.
Future guest hosts as the show works out a permanent succession plan include Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Why?
What?
60 Minutes correspondent Bill Whitaker and Call Me Cat star Maim Bayalek.
Look, just hire like a British dude or something.
Look,
You know,
Jeopardy,
get someone authoritative. Americans are dumb. They hear like in a posh British accent, they'd be like, "Yes, it's authoritative."
yeah,
you know?
get Benedict Cumberbatch up in there.
Yeah, some shit like
I
that.
don't know.
Dude, Benedict Cumberbatch wouldn't host Jeopardy for all the money in the fucking world, though. He's got a better career than Jeopardy can fucking
Fuck yeah.
offer him.
I don't know that that's true. Jeopardy is still a ratings giant even with this shit going
Dude,
on.
look how much Judge Judy made.
I mean, like
Whew.
he could be making that Judge Judy cheddar, you know?
Yeah, but
Jeopardy's
he'd have to be
got a
the
lot of
host of Jeopardy.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
So you pretty much give up any cool factor. You just like, you're a nerd now.
Yeah.
Like, what if they
You're the
offered
Jeopardy
it to
nerd.
you? Like, you'd probably take it, but you'd be miserable being the host of Jeopardy.
That's true. I mean, I'd be fucking happy with the money I made, but
Yeah, he'd be like, "Well, I know why I sold out, but still."
I'd be a terrible Jeopardy host because everyone's gonna know I don't know the shit. That's the thing about Alex Trebek is he was like great at playing off like he just knew all the shit, like he was the smartest man in existence, and like, ooh, that would be Lake Titicaca. It's like, you know, he was just great at making you feel like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. I knew that shit, you know. But of course, I mean, like,
He didn't know all that
Hey,
shit.
you know that shit because you fucking have little cue cards that tell you that shit.
He was
Alex.
charming enough to get past that.
I know.
Chastise people while still remaining beloved. That's why they just need to end this show. Either end this show or use the immense amount of footage that you have of Alex Trebek to create AI Alex Trebek.
Yeah. Get a hologram of Alex Trebek out there, you know? Trot him out. You know, he was not the first host of Jeopardy, but he was the host for so long that I think that he's just indelibly associated with that show.
Well, yeah. Like, people, I mean, look, it's weird, but like, people tune in for shit like that. It's like fucking Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, it's like
When you find, you
Pat
find a host
Sajak's
combo.
still alive, dude.
Yeah, he still hosts the show.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like when Pat Sajak croaks, you know, he's gonna fucking take that show with him because you like his hatred of life has kept that show going. Like Pat Sajak is the pessimist of the show hosts.
Yeah.
You can always
This,
tell
though-
that he's just one step away from downing a whole bottle of pills or hanging himself in a closet somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's why he
He's
works.
He's super right wing, too. And he's got, and, you know, you still got Vanna White at 106 doing the job of like turning the fucking letters, even though it's clearly a superfluous position at this point. There's no way that couldn't just be easily automated away. But
No, people, dude, I would riot if they took Vanna White away from that show.
keep Vanna. Like, all right. So this is a scene from Justice League. Zack Snyder cut in the 4:3 aspect ratio, sepia tone, blurry background. A lot of times they blur, like when they won't even focus on the Joker. Like there's like a whole thing at the end where, well, I don't know if we'll get all the way to the end, but
Just, it's awful.
Au contraire, my little fish stick.
Just stop. That's it.
Oh, contraire, my
contraire, my little fish.
What the fuck is
Contraire, my little fish stick, dude. I'm fucking done.
Why is he a fish stick? Like, what about this situation makes him a
this
fish
dialogue? No. Oh shit! I don't even want to say anything now.
stick? Hey, Joker.
Yeah.
what's the deep symbolic meaning behind you calling Batman a fish stick there?
I mean, what does it mean to you, my little chicken pot pie?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'm really kind of puzzled as to why you called
you over
you
there, my little slice of beef jerky.
Were you saying that to Aquaman? Was Aquaman there? Is that why you said that? I don't know. Maybe you're responding to something Aquaman said, because that would make sense, I guess.
And maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was responding to the voices in my head.
Oh, yeah. You're just unpredictable. No one knows what's up with you.
Damaged.
You know, like a father, like a mother.
Be very careful with the next thing you say.
What happened? What? Why'd they have like a fucking weird filter over his voice?
Yeah, it's like that man sounds like a witness whose like identity is being protected.
Yeah, like it's like one of those fucking shows. We have made this a victim anonymous to protect their identity.
Sammy the Bull Gravano would show up at the meatpacking plant every day to collect the protection money.
Like an adopted son.
No, we're not helping, son.
Isn't that right? Batman.
Isn't that right?
It's hard to even.
Bye-bye.
He's got like Tom Hardy syndrome, dude. It's like, what the fuck's this guy talking about?
Is that right?
Yeah, that's all I understood. I know this scene because we fucking made fun of it about 50 times.
Maybe, in a way, that smelly old flounder is right. Because how many can die in your arms before you grow numb to death?
That's not very careful.
How many can arms are you from the man? How many has on peanuts about
Joker.
I feel like I'm on fucking. Dude, I feel like I'm on Tatooine hearing people in the Star Wars universe converse about this movie.
How many dead eyes can you look into before you die inside yourself?
Ugh.
Oh, that's deeper than deep.
That's like some 15-year-old me poetry shit right there. How many dead eyes can you look into before you die inside yourself? I don't know.
It's some whiny rock right here.
17.
You guys
maybe?
aren't going to believe this shit, but that was actually an ad lib.
Wow.
Good job.
Wait a minute. Are you serious? You
The
made up on
darkness
the
of my
spot.
soul wraps its arms around me like a moonless night. That was also an ad lib.
Wow. You so deep.
I'm an endless font of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like an entire Hot Topics worth of angst in one person.
I've been dead inside long.
You know the dialogue is totally irrelevant to this movie based on just the, like I haven't seen anything else for this movie, but it's like Batman is just.
Why does Batman look like he's wearing a beanie over his bat suit?
I don't know.
This looks like a bad cosplay.
I think those are goggles that he could like bring down. if
Yeah,
he
they
just,
look
like,
lame.
lied.
He should have taken them off.
Yeah. Also, I don't know, man. This bat suit,
It's
like,
ill-fitting.
some dudes could pull off the. I mean, like, I don't know if it's just like the matter of the suit or the dude or what, but like Ben Affleck in this particular suit looks like a goddamn idiot.
Dude, he looks, it's like ill-fitting as fuck.
Yeah,
Like, look
it's
at how badly it fits him. His face looks, it looks like it's on crooked.
Yeah, and his eyes are like super sunken in too.
It's just like a piece of shit. It's just horrible.
Honestly, God.
Before what, Bruce? Kill me? Kill me? I'm
You want to kill me?
I want to show you this entire scene where like he just gets progressively more out of focus for like art, I guess.
All right.
A truce, Bruce.
So
As long as you have this card, a truce. But all you have to do is tear it in half, and I'm happy to discuss with you in any way like why you sent a boy wonder to do a man.
what is that?
Zack
I get it. At
Snyder.
first, it was like, let's focus on the card. But then he just keeps talking, and the card's not even in the shot anymore at some point, and he's still just like this blurry mess. It's like, oh, wow. It's like, is this deep?
But look at when I come out of the blur.
Yeah,
Go
that's
back
pretty
and
dark.
look at the line I deliver when I come out of the blur, TJ.
And it's like, wow, yeah, you're right. Hold
Boy
on.
wonder
You ready for that punch?
to do a man's job.
Not only is the voice horrible, dude. Like Jared Leto just reminds me of like when I was a teenager, some dork would be like, "I'm gonna dress up and be like the Joker."
It's just his dog shit impression of fucking Heath Ledger's voice. Like, he didn't even do his own fucking unique voice for this. He just tries and fucking fails to imitate the
I'm Heath
Ledger
Ledger.
fucking performance.
What are you talking about?
This is how the Joker talks.
Hey, TJ,
Yeah.
have you ever seen a pencil disappear?
Yeah. I sure have. Saw it in the Dark Knight.
Somewhere
You gonna show me the same
deep
trick
down,
again?
You need me.
Maybe.
You know, it's funny. You would talk about people who died in my arms.
Oh, it's worse. The more they pan out, the worse it gets.
I can see why they left it out of focus.
Yeah.
The more I look at this character, the worse it looks.
It doesn't even look. They didn't even put a smile on him. I mean, they just rubbed some red shit like around the vicinity of his lips. Like, oh,
Now, if you
wow.
excuse me, Batman, I've got some dishes to do.
I went down on Harley Quinn at that time of the month, Batman. You'll have to excuse.
Excuse the mess.
I got my red wings.
Hideous.
I just ate a big raspberry pie very sloppily, Batman. No, don't worry about me.
All right. Let me just soak that in, okay? This is the Joker
Yeah.
in the much awaited fucking this is this is their oh yeah, it's the Joker, you guys. It's the Joker. This is just people cosplaying as the fucking Joker. You know what I mean? Like I mean how the fuck is this like I mean, well, that's what some little kid, but like
Dude, that,
you know what I mean?
was awesome.
This is a dude. This is a fucking dude
That's
just dressed
not
up
a
in
dude.
a
That's from a
this is a
video
dude.
game.
This is a fucking dude. I mean,
That's
it might
a
be
video
augmented.
game.
This is cosplay.
Dude, just because it's labeled cosplay doesn't mean it's cosplay, TJ.
That's totally cosplay.
That's a video game.
If you look at the
Rendering.
face, you could tell this is. I mean, it might be augmented that way, but that's not
It's
fucking
a video game, TJ.
Okay, sure. If you could find the exact video game and screenshot, I'll fucking agree. But
It's a video game.
okay,
It's a video game.
video game. That's a video game.
It's a video game, isn't it, Batman?
There's just, I mean, a lot of these people are doing the Heath Ledger Joker, but the point is that, like, how is it that all these fucking cosplayers can fucking put together fucking Joker outfits that look like the fucking Joker, and this movie gives us this fucking piece of shit?
Yeah, it looks nothing like
Don't
the
you
Joker.
like my rubber gloves in the scene?
This is not the fucking Joker. This doesn't look a goddamn thing like the fucking Joker. He doesn't even have a smile.
Dude, I've got it, TJ. Like how they can fix all this shit.
What?
They make it canon that actually it turns out this is not the Joker. This is some dude that knew the Joker that went crazy and thought he was the Joker. So they can just kill him off unceremoniously. Like, that wasn't the real Joker.
Just look at him.
Ah! The fuck is this?
What? That's the iconic Joker laugh, everybody.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Dude,
Yeah.
Justice League has a sky laser.
Got a ship shooting down. It looks like this is a ship shooting down some kind of
Whatever.
fire
It's the
beam,
same thing.
but
It's a sky
basically,
laser.
yeah, it might as well just be a sky
It's the
laser.
ID for sky laser.
Yeah. This whole scene is ugly as fuck. Like, what are you supposed like? This is 4 full minutes of the fucking movie that are just like visually uninteresting, completely and utterly.
Go back a little bit.
Everything's just dusty and sepia and out of focus, and there's no background, and just tight shots of these two faces, mostly blurred.
We'll go to the end where it's showing right, look right. I mean, that's why. Look at this shit. This is a fucking green screen with 2 buffoons that can't talk. That's all I got. Sky portal, sky laser, Inception music ripped off. What a fucking Frankenstein of a fucking movie. How can anyone like this shit, dude?
Dude, I had an avalanche of people coming into my ideologies and shit when this dropped, and they were like, "Hey Paul, do you have HBO? Have you seen the Snyder Cut? What are your thoughts? I think it's actually way better than Justice League was." And I'm like, I just had to start telling these motherfuckers, like, I didn't see Justice League, dipshit. I didn't see the non-Zack Snyder cut of this shit film. And I have no interest in watching Zack Snyder's re-envisioning of it.
It's only 4 hours long. Come on. You can't set 4 hours aside to be subjected to that.
Commit 4 hours to some
9.
fucking glorified director's cut.
9.
It's a glorified fucking. I understand there's new footage fucking that's been shot,
Dude,
but
if
that's
I want
really
to
what it
sit
is.
down with a movie for 4 hours, I'm popping in Barry Lyndon. I'm popping in the director's cuts of the fucking Lord of the Rings trilogy. You know what I mean? If I'm going to spend that much time with a goddamn movie, I'm popping in fucking 2001 A Space Odyssey. If I want to watch a long movie, it's going to justify its length. I am not. Dude, that scene we just watched was tragically bad. Tragically fucking bad. So ugly. So washed out. So shit brown that it looked like diuretic fucking doo-doo smeared on the lens. So tragically poorly shot. So over-edited. So over-affected. So obviously green screened.
But look, they added spikies to Steppenwolf though. See, like he didn't used to have spikies.
Kill me now.
And now he's got spikies now.
All right, never mind. Take it back, dude.
Look,
they had spikes.
I mean, that was what when I saw this character design, I'm like, maybe, but he could use some spikies. And now he's got them.
This looks like spikies. Ass. Why would you even waste your time, let alone 4 hours of your time watching that?
Well, you want to know something funny? Of the households that put on this film, only about 1/3 actually watched it to the finish.
Fuck, dude.
People are just rage quitting out of it.
Yeah.
They're just like fuck this.
2/3 of the people that tried to watch it. I mean, to be fair, maybe they came back and watched the rest later.
How bad is your crowning achievement of this fucking sort of like franchise you're trying to build for the DC universe? That it's like you let another director come in and go, okay, actually, we know we fired you, but come back and try to salvage this piece of shit. And this is the result. 4 hours that 2/3 of people just go, you know what?
You know what?
I'd rather go to bed.
Because it was born out of like fan clamoring, because it was like born out of this release the Snyder Cut hashtag and everyone demanded it. Now all those people that demanded it have to act like it's fucking good, even though it's so clearly not. And it's fucking pathetic to watch them go around fucking telling me like, well, you know, man, it's a lot better than the theatrical. Maybe it is better than the theatrical cut. I don't know.
I can
tell you what,
I didn't see the theatrical cut because
I didn't either.
Because it looked so awful. And so why would I want to see a recut of a movie that was already dog shit to begin with?
So it's like, hey, this is the original cut, but the Snyder cut brings it all the way up to here.
Like, what are you going to do to the loaf of dog turd sitting in front of you? Throw a sprig of parsley on it? Like, no thanks.
My understanding is it's fucking barely different other than some very superficial changes. I guess they gave Cyborg more screen time, so
oh yeah,
that's exactly what I was.
You mean the worst
hoping for
character design of the entire bunch? Great,
yeah,
thanks.
Oh shit, you're offline, TJ.
I don't think I'm actually offline.
No, I can
because I wouldn't be talking to Paul. So
Steppenwolf. This is good, TJ. You like this, don't you,
dude? I just the whole DC. I mean, I guess not the whole DC universe, but anything that's part of their like attempt to create a DC cinematic universe, especially the stuff where Zack Snyder is directly involved, just looks fucking ugly.
No, dude, it has for a long time too. One of my critiques,
his Superman movie was fucking washed out and ugly looking. His Justice League is washed out and ugly. It's all just washed out and fucking ugly.
Do you know why? Because the fucking Dark Knight trilogy used that palette, and DC has not been able to escape it since. And it was wearing thin by the Dark Knight Rises, or whatever the fuck the Bane one was. It was already starting to get a little bit drab and dreary. You know what I mean? Like, dude, look at Gotham City as is portrayed in Batman 2 or Batman Returns.
Right.
How dark and dingy it is, and yet still filled with colorful shit. You know what I mean? Look at Dark City. The way that everything is draped in this heavy green kind of film noir kind of thing. But every building has interest. Every locale has a little vibrancy to it. There are these splashes of color. Like, DC is just not... They wash out... Like, that shit we just watched was so washed out. In addition to being like artistically out of focus constantly, it was just sepia tone to the point of looking like it went through the washing machine. It looks like the print went through the wash. It's just like, please give me a clean shot of this. Give me a splash of fucking vibrancy and color in this. Nope. Everything is the same shit brown that the alien ship is pooping out of the sky.
Batman's fucking mask doesn't fit. You can't understand what the fuck he's saying half the time. You can't understand what
DC had no plan.
The
they had no plan. They saw Marvel was, and honestly, more Disney was just dominating this market. And they're like, oh, we have these properties too, so we can cash in on them. And I'm sure they've cashed in, but at the expense of actually making anything that's worth the fuck, that's not just going to be consigned to the garbage bin of cinema history.
I mean, DC has its fanboys. I don't really get it.
That's why the Tim Burton Batmans have only grown in esteem over time in my mind, because they managed to blend that serious thing while still making it feel like a comic book come to life. There's that dark dinginess, but there's also that vibrancy and that difference in that ability to go kind of over the top, having the Penguin have this underground layer filled with a bunch of penguins. It's crazy.
I will say that in terms of set design and in terms of Gotham City is, it's almost like the character
in those movies, in terms of costume and villain design.
Yeah.
Look at the way that the bat suit fits and looks on Michael Keaton compared to the bat suit on Ben Affleck. Look at the character design for the Penguin and the character design for the Joker in comparison to the current fucking Joker.
The current Joker, I don't consider the Joker.
Way, on every count.
It's hard to even consider Leto to be the Joker. It really, truly is. Like, he's just so outside of that role. He's so outside of his depth. I mean, it just looks like he's so desperate to make it work, and the desperation just destroys it. I method acting. It's like he did this method acting bullshit, but he's not Daniel Day fucking Lewis, dude. It just doesn't fucking work for him. It's just, oh man, everything DC has done, this has been just a fucking misfire. The only thing that honestly I've heard positive is Wonder Woman 1. I know a lot of people love that movie.
I liked that movie. I watched that movie and thought like, all right, you know, I was better than I was expecting it to be. It had some cool scenes in it. Neat.
Yeah. Apparently 1984, that one, a lot of people are not vibing so much with that one. I've not heard the same
I've heard
reviews.
it's really bad.
Yeah. But it's like, to me, it's like with Marvel, you know, they had Iron Man, they established a whole franchise. They established it piece by piece. They got a bunch of intrigue and interest in these characters that honestly, no one really gave that much of a fuck about Iron Man before that. I mean, he just wasn't a big character. I mean, there was Thor. I mean, yeah, they were huge for comic book fans, but not really in the mainstream. And they built something out of, you know, I never expected going to Iron Man it would lead to the Avengers, and it did, but it didn't so in a logical way because they had someone overseeing that at Disney to make that a reality, to have continuity across all these different films and laying the foundation for that. Even if you don't like those films, like you can see the artistry there to take it from point A to point B and keep the audience interested. Like DC was so fucking rushed. Like they did this so, like this should have, we shouldn't even be talking about Justice League. They should have set the foundation. This should be like coming out like 5 or 10 years after they've established this shit. Not fucking. Go
looking
ahead.
at this, sorry, I agree with you, by the way, Scotty.
Oh, no, go ahead, man.
I'm just saying, looking at this Batsuit shit, for me, the Batsuit peaked with fucking Keaton 2.
Batman Returns here.
Yep.
Okay, so
Batman Returns will be the second from the last on the first row.
Yeah,
Yep.
first row.
Right before the obvious shiny wet leather monstrosity that was the Val Kilmer suit.
I think it peaked with this very first 1950s television show Batman outfit. Personally,
No, Adam West for sure.
The whole Schumacher line of Batsuits is just garbage. I mean, they're just not good.
Yeah.
The Bale Batsuits, they look a little bit more tactical. I kind of buy them more as combat suits, especially the last two, because he can actually articulate his head.
The first one is underwhelming, though, in comparison.
Yeah,
it's very underwhelming in comparison to the Keaton Batsuit. The next two, I'm not going to lie, those look cool. Those are a modernization, I think, of the Keaton Batsuit. Honestly,
I mean,
look at it.
They look more like actual like tactical gear.
And Nolan had good variants in those films, so I don't think the Batsuit was really a huge issue.
You know, I think the Batman Returns suit works so well is because it kind of combines functionality with that classic Batman aesthetic.
Right. But look at the way the mask fits Keaton.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just well designed. It's proportional. It's got a mean look to it. And then you look at these Schumacher bat suits up above, and the mask starts to become a problem, especially in the first and second Clooney films there. Those, I mean, that's just, the mask is no good. They found out, they got better with the mask in the first two fucking Bale films here, in my opinion, by molding it more to his skull and making it fit tighter. Like it's not necessarily this big, thick, chunky thing on his head, but it's more of something that's molded to his skull and provides some kind of utility. It goes a little far in the third one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the brow ridge is just a little much. But one of the things that's crazy about these early bat suits is the fact that like Batman does kind of have to hold himself very stiff because this big thick rubber neck is not really capable of much articulation, if any.
Right, that's true.
Like stuck like this. So he has to, like, when he turns, you'll notice like if he looks at something, he has to like move his whole body in very dramatic ways to like do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
They shoot around it for the most part, so you don't really notice it too much, but it is
they did free his neck eventually.
So then at the bottom we have every variation of the Batfleck suit. So there are some things I like about this suit. I like how it makes Batman look bulkier. It kind of gives me more of like a vibe of like a Frank Miller style Batman.
This is canon shit too, right? From the comics. Like Batman has various suits. Some of them are bulkier. Like he doesn't have Hulkbuster suit that fucking Iron Man, or not Iron Man, or not a Hulkbuster suit. I've got my genres.
Superman.
This is his
one.
Superman fighting suit here in the middle.
I got it.
He uses in that
and he had a
fucking
suit
flick.
that he had to fight Doomsday. But I got to tell you, like, out of these, the one to me that pop, like, which one of these do you think is the best bat suit out of the bat flick suits?
The first one.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think the first one's probably the best for me.
Yep. Easily walks away with it. Now, you know, taking out the couple of tactical suits that he doesn't wear all the time or whatever, but like the way he looks in this latest one is just overwrought, garbage, ill-fitting nonsense. Like that first one looks like Batman to me.
Yeah, this actually looks like a bat suit. I mean, the symbol stands out from the rest of the suit. It's using like there's just more. Like everything else, just like this is the second to last one is just too black. The last one is just too black. This one, the middle one's just a hunk of shit. It looks ugly.
I hate how color comes and goes from these two because like it's done well. I think in these early fucking Keaton bat suits, you've got a splash of that yellow with the belt.
Yellow is so important to making this suit. I mean, like you got to tie that shit together. Now, obviously, they like, oh well, why would Batman have like bright colors if he's supposed to be, you know,
I mean, you're asking too many questions at that
like,
point.
you know, yeah, it's just like
why would
turn your
Superman
fucking
wear a
brain
pair of
off a little
tights?
bit.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
Yeah, like why would any of this be happening? Like, you're in a comic book fantasy. Stop asking stupid questions.
Look at the Joel Schumacher bat suits and the way that they drained color out of them and then tried to add splashes of like neutral tones to them, and then eventually kind of. Like, I didn't really notice it at first, but looking at them side by side here, the fucking Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy suits brought kind of a little bit of a muted sense of color back to the suit, like that gold belt. I don't like how they did away with the bat symbol on his chest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
I mean, it's there, but it's the same color as everything else around it. So it's like.
Might as well not be there.
Yeah, it's basically pointless.
And that's what I like about this first Batfleck suit is that they found a way to change the suit itself's color. It's actually closer to one of the original 50s suits.
Yeah, it's kind of like an update of one of these first two.
Where it's gray on black, you know what I mean? And I like that. I think that actually looks pretty dope. That's my favorite bat suit of the modern ones for sure.
Yeah,
He runs away with it.
I mean, it does. Like by the time you get to the one they used in whatever the fuck this shit. I mean, the bat symbol is there, but it's so unclear that it's even a bat at this point. It just looks like a blob of shit.
Yeah. Do you even like the bat symbol anymore? The bat symbol doesn't look great anymore. Look at the bat symbol above each one, because that's another good thing about this picture that you found.
Yeah, I mean, it shows you what symbol they're wearing. These bat symbols are not
this
great.
This is just awful. I don't know. I don't get this.
Yeah, it looks like Mario's mustache. I don't really know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and then
I mean, like, really, once again, I mean, the Tim Burton bat symbol just looks better.
Isn't it great? And it was so marketable too. They still sell that bat symbol on T-shirts.
Oh yeah, this bat, the bat one. I think the Bale one is okay. I don't know about this cracking
the Nolan ones are
I mean, like those are more. Those were more used in the advertising campaigns of the franchise rather than like on the bat suit, except for the first one.
You can see it
first
there.
one, that's pretty good. It's like more industrial and angular than the other ones are, but it doesn't have that 90s fucking over edge to it. You know what I mean? That 90s Joel Schumacher shit.
But
is like,
this bat symbol, I mean, like, it's just
it looks like an Xbox controller with no buttons on it.
It's just way too slight. There's like no delineation.
Well, the Nolan one went super minimalist, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll just make it a fatter bat." And it's like, no, it doesn't look like a bat now.
So I got some Jokers here. Just get this graphic on the screen by itself. Here we go. So these are not in order, obviously,
right?
But you have your various incarnations of the Joker.
You've got your Cesar Romero Joker, who was very clean cut and colorful.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a very sanitized, I guess, in a way, version of the Joker, but it's still fun. I mean, like, he was over the top. He clearly had a lot of fun when he played the role. Sure. I'm not the biggest fan of that 60s Batman shit, but whatever. I mean, it's fun for the campy.
I mean, he was good in his part of it. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, then in order, you've got the Nicholson Batman from the first,
the original Tim Burton Batman.
And
No,
that, to
I mean, he killed it.
He walked away with it, but it's something so different from all these other Jokers. You know what I mean?
One of the great things I love about the character of the Joker is like it's a very loose template, and you can really do a lot with it. And this, I mean, like just the variety of stuff that we see here, like even fucking Jared Leto. As much as I hate his performance, he did bring something different to the character. It's something I completely despise and dislike, but he did bring something his own to it.
Right. I mean, visually, without knowing that it's Jared Leto, it could work. You know what I mean? Like it's a very versatile character. If you give him the right things to say and shit. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix did a very dramatic, sort of sad Joker. I mean, it's almost a reversion to just clown makeup, but just kind of askew.
Just, like a disturbed person. I mean, just gets to like a real like core Joker sort of thing, and like delving into more like the sadness and like the world that created the Joker. We live like, instead of just saying we live in a society, it actually showed you the society that brought the Joker into being.
Right.
Heath Ledger obviously playing the Joker like a fucking crazy anarchist, punk rock sort of Joker.
Yeah, just somebody that's lived on the edges of society and the fringes of society forever and has been marred and scarred and
just wants to watch them choke on their own hypocrisy at this point.
Right.
So there's just like so many different interpretations you can bring to it, so many different aesthetics you can bring to it. There's just so much you can play with when it comes to the Joker. And that's why it just really is such a shame that this Jared Leto got a second crack at it after being so bad.
Yeah.
The most prolific Joker. Keep that in mind.
But of course, you also have this interpretation, which we were just looking at a minute ago.
Which is not, I mean, it's not far off from it. It's just kind of almost like a slapdash combination of a lot of the Jokers we were just looking at. It's not, it's different in costuming, but in design, it's not much different than, what we saw in the previous interpretations. It's got a little bit of everything in it, which is kind of what makes it bad. It doesn't feel like it has its own thing going on.
I've always felt like I feel like his Joker before that he did in Suicide Squad, like I said, as much as I didn't like that, it had more of a unique vibe to it than this. I feel like this is just him doing a Heath Ledger impression and doing it really badly with really bad lines.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they haven't really gone and put them toe to toe in a movie again. I mean, they have Suicide Squad, but that's really not the same thing. I mean, it's kind of like he's a bit player. They haven't really done the whole like Batman versus Joker movie, which is like, come on. If you can pull that off, that's like the ultimate movie the fucking fans want. If we're being honest, that's why Dark Knight is such a big fucking flick, because when Heath Ledger killed it as the fucking Joker, that just made the fucking movie.
And Paul, because you asked me to pull some of the other costumes, I do have some Catwoman here from the Batman Returns.
I mean,
Tim Burton.
I honestly thought this was a fantastic costume. Say what you want about
art of it.
About the movie. I thought that this costume was absolutely fantastic. This is one of my favorite interpretations of Selena Kyle, probably my favorite Selena Kyle on the big screen.
We also have, of course, Dan DeVito as
legend, right? This character design is over the top amazing. And he it was just so cartoonish in the right ways. It's beautiful. It's a great.
He's a terrifying looking character for sure.
It's fantastic. It took advantage of Danny DeVito's unique kind of stature, and they built an entire suit around just making a human into a penguin, and it was just fantastic.
I mean, he did a great job in the role. I do feel like sometimes the script was a little inconsistent in how his character was written, but
it's true.
These movies are a little bit more about the visual elements and the atmosphere and just like being, I mean, they really do feel cartoony to me, the right ways.
Yep.
They feel like a comic book. They feel like they're just awash in that sort of atmosphere. And I think the first film did it better than the second in some ways. I think there was a lot of inconsistency. There's problems, but honestly, I almost feel like an asshole for bringing up those problems with Batman Returns, because it just wasn't what it was about.
Batman. Okay, see, here's the thing. Here's why I think that the fucking Tim Burton Batmans are brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
They managed to seamlessly walk the line between something as disturbing as this interpretation of the Penguin that we're looking at and that cartoonish feel. You have to understand, these were basically like kind of template modern comic book movies. We'd gotten Superman, of course, before this, but it was a very direct and literal interpretation of Superman.
Yeah.
And this pushed the edges a little bit and made it more of an adult kind of atmosphere, but with that still focus on the cartoony nature that comes across in comics. And
yeah, and he probably pushed the envelope a little too far with this one because he was fired because this movie was like too dark. The toy companies did not like. I mean, when the toy companies saw this penguin design, they were like, "How the fuck are we supposed to sell a toy of this?" You know what I mean?
Right.
It was a different time. I think today that would have just not even.
This
been
one,
a
Tim Burton
issue.
had some fucking edge, dude.
But
he had that the fucking ability to actually go ahead and challenge people. And I think it really showed with the design with the penguin here. But I fucking loved to do that as a kid. Because I was like 5 when this came out. The fucking penguin fucking terrified me. I was like, I saw the penguin. I was like, ah! So they did their job, dude. I was like so fascinated with Batman Returns, purely because of just the penguin was such an odd looking character. I mean, he acted and behaved so weirdly. Dan DeVito just totally inhabited that role. And like what we've seen come since. I mean, yeah, Chris Nolan did a pretty good job. I mean, barring the third film.
I mean, what we've seen is a number of tonal shifts in the way that Batman is presented on the silver screen. We've got this jokey, like almost direct interpretation of the 1950s and 60s Batman, right? Where it's pow, wham, zap, zam shit, right? Yeah. And then we've got Tim Burton who comes along and he's like, hey, let's make an actual fucking film out of this, but still retain that core kind of, thing that made it a comic book in the first place. And then it got too fucking cartoony, didn't it? The Joel Schumacher days were like, let's go over the top cartoony with it and too colorful with it.
Basically, they fucking hired Joel Schumacher after Tim Burton
to make the kid-friendly ones.
Like, hey, we want you to make this. Like, we want you to sell fucking toys with this.
Right.
This is about selling toys.
It's merch, yeah.
And then it's about selling as many toys as possible.
For a while, and then we got the Chris Nolan Batmans, which took it gritty, hard, grayscale, and very brutal.
Trying to bring it a little bit more into like something. Adult. I mean. Yeah, something that's more like the real world, too. Like bringing Batman into a more grounded sort of reality than what we saw in the Burton films and stuff. And then I don't know what the fuck you'd say about Ben Affleck's shit.
I have to defer to you guys on that shit because I literally haven't seen a Ben Affleck Bat movie.
Soulless cash-ins.
I didn't watch them either. I just I don't know. I'm just not interested in that fucking universe. That cinematic universe just is off-putting to me.
No one made you care about it. No one. I mean, like, look, no one gave a fuck about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, Marvel in the '90s was like a fucking penny stock. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, Marvel sucked you in. Like, I've been rewatching the Marvel movies in order, and it's like, not everyone was great. Not everyone was fucking a masterpiece or anything. In fact, I don't really think any of them were, but they were consistently good and they consistently gave you exactly what you fucking came for. It's like, here's a fun little comic book popcorn movie. It's like, okay, cool.
Yep.
And they just sucked you a little bit deeper in. Here's this character. Here's this character. They introduced characters that are
though, dude. Those fucking
it was
early
nice little pace,
Those early movies presented these characters. Now I know, people have different feelings about Michael Keaton as a Batman, right?
Sure.
I think he works in the Burton films because the Burton films aren't trying to make Batman the most masculine thing on the planet. They're trying to present, like a more comic booky version of it where he's got to be a normal guy by day and a superhero by night.
I feel like Michael Keaton is super beloved as Batman.
I don't know. I hear a lot of people shit talking Michael Keaton's Batman in comparison with Christian Bale's and our more modern Batmans and shit. Like,
well, he's doing. I think he's returning to the role for. I mean, like, he's so old, but they. I know he's like signed on to play Batman in something. I don't know if they're doing like a Dark Knight Returns adaptation or something like that.
Dude,
or
we
what
could do a whole grease trap on Michael Keaton. I think that dude is wildly underappreciated as an actor.
Oh yeah. I mean, he could be. I don't know. I watched Birdman a few weeks back.
Dude, have you ever seen Multiplicity?
I saw Multiplicity back in the day.
As a kid, yeah.
I'm telling you, watch that movie as an adult. Take my word for it. Give it a fucking shot. It's not over long. Watch Multiplicity again. That's a pretty goddamn fucking great film. And Michael Keaton plays like 9 out of the 10 roles in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he's had kind of a renaissance in his career because I remember for a while, like, he wasn't in shit. He's been The Founder. That was another good one he was in.
Oh, he was fucking great in The Founder. He was great in The
as
Founder.
Vulture,
He was great in
Spider-Man
Birdman.
movie.
He was great in the Spider-Man movie where he played the Vulture.
Yep.
Probably the fucking first. That was kind of the first sign to me that, like, maybe these Marvel villains are getting a little bit more interesting because, like, they actually gave the dude a motivation and, like, some kind. Yeah, then they fucking went right back to, like, rah, I'm evil. But, you know,
evil because evil.
But he had, like, they actually gave him a motivation and he made sense to you and you kind of, like, got where he was coming from and, like, wow, he got fucked over and he's just trying to fucking, you know, recoup his fucking losses from this shit. And he just ended up by circumstance getting in this fucking business, getting in this industry, using this alien tech to fucking create weapons and shit that he's, you know, selling on the street because, you know, the government fucked him out of his rightful salvage contract. And just destroyed his business. You know, I mean, like, and he has like a working class fucking anti-hero sort of vibe to him. Like he's the working class fucking villain. That, you know,
I don't know. I just feel like
that American dream.
DC's got done dirty when it comes to the movies. You go back to the early ones and you see a lot of quality, and you say what you want about the Burton Batmans, a lot of love and care and studying of the comic book aesthetic went into making those fucking films, and it shines in every frame. It shines in the set design. It shines in the way that Gotham City is presented in both of those films. And then at somewhere along the way, and I don't know, like, I don't want to point blame at the Nolan movies, but I feel like they grimdarked up the character to the point where I can't take it seriously anymore.
Yeah, I feel like in Nolan's hands it worked, but I feel like when it switched to Zack Snyder, I feel like what happened with the DC universe that just fucked it was that Nolan set that tone, and then Zack Snyder made that Superman movie with Nolan kind of involved, I think in like a producer capacity, but they like grimdarked up Superman for some reason. It's like, why? It's Superman, and then
like,
the next thing you know,
nature,
it's like right, that became like the entire DC universe is like
it's
that.
Like Zack Snyder and
they
Chris
treat
Nolan
every character like Batman, you know?
You know what it is? It's like Chris Nolan and Zack Snyder had a fucking love child, which was that fucking horrible Superman movie. Because he was kind of involved and kind of like, oh, do this, do that. Because, you know, like, look, I'm the guy that did Batman, so I fucking know. And then you had Snyder, who just hasn't really, I mean, like, has had some glimmers of, like, he shined as a director, like Dawn of the Dead, I thought was good. I mean, 300 visually was good. Maybe not the greatest story, but if you look at the source material, like, it's a fair job, I'd say. I mean, he also co-directed with Frank Miller, who actually wrote the graphic novel. So there's a lot of good elements with Snyder visually. But I just don't feel like he has the gravitas to pull off that story in the way that would have made sense, and just it just comes across like he's trying to fucking copy Chris Nolan.
So Zack Snyder, to me, I just can't stand his eye. I just don't like the way that I don't like what looks aesthetically pleasing to him and what looks aesthetically pleasing to me are clearly not the same fucking thing, because like everything he shoots, especially since that Superman movie, I've just found fucking so ugly. Everything he shoots is just fucking ugly, and not ugly in like a cool, interesting way, like the Penguin. Ugly in just like this is drab and uninteresting kind of way.
I mean, I have to agree with you on DC being done dirty, Paul. Because I mean, look, fucking Batman, these Burton films kind of set the tone. Like, these are way ahead of their time. I mean, look at all the movies we have now. We have a million superhero movies. Like, this wasn't even really a big thing after they came out. It's like, oh, it was a Batman movie, and then the other ones kind of just. They weren't treated seriously. They were just kind of kid films. Like, that's how it was viewed.
The Superman films are the only, movies that precede Batman were superhero films. I mean, look, they're given a serious treatment in the Superman movies. They're still very comic booky, but they're, so you can't set those aside. But I really do feel like the Burton Batman films set the tone for a modern superhero film that Marvel went and ran with, that DC has run with. That's really where it started, if you really want to look at where the commercialization and the mass commoditization of a fucking superhero film became a thing. Because I remember being a little kid when those Batman movies came out, And even in a pre-internet time, that symbol, that golden Batman symbol from the Burton films was burned into my mind before I ever got a chance to see the film. So it was marketed. There was Batman fucking cereal and every kind of toy and every kind of thing. And it was just pushed so fucking hard and got so big that I think it really set the tone for the entire genre. And Marvel has done better at capturing that this is grim and dark at times, but also colorful and interesting and funny at times. And DC has just lost itself down the hole of grimdark. That's really how I feel about it.
I think you're right.
It's so,
I think
it's
one
so
of the reasons
overwrought and boring and grim that I don't even care to watch it anymore. It's
one of the reasons that Wonder Woman kind of stood apart at the time is like, maybe this is DC.
It was colorful.
Finally. Yeah, like they fucking. Oh wow, she actually feels like this. Actually feels like she's a superhero. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't know. I guess they lost. They've lost their fucking way. They don't know what they're doing anymore. It's just like, I feel like another thing that just fucked them is that they just looked at the Marvel model and like, oh, we got to do that, but they didn't have the patience to do it right, so they just rush shit. They're just trying to like, ooh, we're just gonna skip right to the Avengers. It's like, you can't do that. The Avengers worked because every character in that movie had an entire movie dedicated to developing them as characters, except
over the course
for,
of 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, like these
20
fucking
years, or like close to 20 fucking straight years of Marvel movies leading up to and establishing the collaboration of all these characters, growing with these characters, changing with these characters. You can't skip to the end of that. So why not focus on just making a new bombastic start to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
By making a movie that's fun and lighthearted in ways and still manages to hit those adult tones, but also appeal to kids so you can sell some goddamn toys and make another fucking phenomenon out of it. Like, what's holding them back? Because it's definitely not subject matter.
I think it's just like this marriage to this Zack Snyder vision of a dark, gritty, fucking grim DC universe. And I think it's also this like need to just rush through everything and try to get everything to happen all at once. That's what I see when I look at DC's properties. I don't know. They have a shit ton of characters. Obviously the superhero shit is popular. It might be waning in popularity. We've discussed the possibility that that's going on, but clearly it hasn't waned in popularity yet because they're still making money. So like, while you have these properties, like use them well, and they're just not using them well.
No.
I mean, it's like it's a pretty inept usage of the fucking intellectual properties that they fucking.
It's a total disservice to the characters because they could do so much better.
They didn't have. I mean, see, the problem is they didn't have a vision for these characters to begin with. Like Warner Brothers, a number of years ago, acquired all the DC shit, and they didn't ever use it. They're just like, yeah, we want Batman and Superman. We'll do some cartoons with Batman and Superman or whatever the fuck. They didn't fucking have any plans to use this extended universe much at all. But then when they saw what Marvel did, they're like, oh wait, we could actually do something with this. But they didn't ever have a plan. It's just like, yeah, we'll just do kind of what Marvel did.
Yeah, they had a plan. Make some fucking money off them.
Yeah, maybe we can make some money off of this.
How can we exploit these fucking characters? Do we actually give a shit about them? No, but let's fucking milk them for all they're worth.
Like when you watch the Marvel movies, like whether you're good, bad, indifferent, done with whatever the fuck, you can tell that there's like a vision and a plan and someone overseeing the whole fucking shebang.
There's a
Not
difference.
only that, but like
they're making
casting.
superhero movies. They're making superhero movies. You know what I mean? And the difference is that when you watch a Marvel and they're actually making they're making a Thor movie, they're making an Avengers movie, they're making a Black Widow movie. There is something there. It's like, I feel like the DC ones that just happen to be superheroes and there to sell you the fucking thing. Like they don't give a fuck what the product is. There's no fucking care into it. There's no consideration put into it. It's just like, this character is, buy it.
And Paul, you were talking about casting, like. Yeah, I mean, like when you look at the Marvel people, like it's like they found people that were actually like fit the role, whereas
it's
DC
brilliant casting after brilliant casting. Fucking Tony
like,
Stark, brilliantly cast. The Hulk, brilliantly cast. Fucking say what you want about her as her character, but Black Widow, brilliantly cast. Just everyone that they added to the team, every time that they added another superhero, the reimagining of Spider-Man, Tom Holland, brilliant casting there. Like a great re-envisioning of the character.
And like the fucking, you go back to like the fucking DC shit, and it's like, fucking what's the, it's like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. It's like, what? Okay,
I'm Aquaman.
Henry who's playing Superman? Is it Henry Cavill still?
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Whatever. He's,
Well, I don't know if he's playing it still, but he played him in the movies.
I
before.
don't. I mean, he was like whatever. Fucking
He
Ben
had the
Affleck
look,
is
but just
I don't know.
I think Henry Cavill, out of all of those people that we've mentioned, had the look of Superman. He looked like a cool ass Superman, but he just wasn't written well. So I'm not into it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, is that a grease trap, gentlemen?
Yeah, I feel like that is.
All right.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.